My great-aunt's dusty steamer trunk arrived on a Tuesday smelling of old cedar and forgotten prairie secrets, buried deep within. Inside the lining, I found a yellowed map and a love letter dated 1948, signed by a rancher named Jasper Colt. The letter promised a treasure hidden in the abandoned silver vein mine on the Colt family's remote Montana homestead. My fingers trembled as I read Jasper's words, bound to wait forever for my great-aunt Eleanor beneath the old cottonwood. I drove 3 days across empty highways until the jagged peaks of the Colt Ranch cut into a stormy sky. Jake Colt met me at the gate with a shotgun cradled in his arm and eyes as hard as frozen creek stones. I showed him the map and letter, and his stony expression cracked like dry earth when he recognized his grandfather's handwriting. He said every treasure hunter in the county had tried to find that mine, but the entrance collapsed 60 years ago. I told him I was not a hunter, just a woman with a broken family thread that led straight to his door. He lowered the shotgun and said we would dig at dawn, but if I lied, he would bury my truth. That night I slept in a century-old bunkhouse, listening to coyotes cry and wondering if Jasper's ghost still waited somewhere. At first light, Jake handed me a pickaxe, and we rode his 2 horses toward the canyon where the mine entrance lay. Boulders blocked the old timber frame, but a narrow gap above them glinted with something metallic in the early sun. Jake boosted me up, and I crawled into the darkness, and he pulled himself through with a grunt of effort. Our headlamps revealed a tunnel frozen in time, with rusted rail tracks and the faint scent of dynamite and cold stone. The map led us past 3 collapsed side shafts until we found the 4th one marked with a carved crescent moon. Jake's breath caught when he saw the carving, because his grandfather had carved the same moon on the family mantelpiece. We squeezed through a tight passage where the air smelled of copper, and my heart pounded against my ribs with anticipation. A small chamber opened before us, and in the center sat an iron-bound chest covered in a thick layer of dust. Jake pried open the lid with a crowbar, and the glow of gold coins spilled into the darkness like captured sunshine. Beneath the coins lay a leather journal and a faded photograph of Jasper with a woman who was my great-aunt's identical mirror. I read Jasper's journal aloud while Jake listened, his tough exterior melting with every word of forbidden love recorded there. The pages revealed that Eleanor's wealthy father forbade the marriage and sent her away, never knowing she carried Jasper's child. That child was my grandmother, making Jake and me distant cousins separated only by time and a cruel family feud. Jake stared at me, then at the photograph, and whispered that the treasure was meant to build their runaway life together. Tears slipped down my cheeks because I realized the map was not about gold. It was an invitation to finish their story. He took my hand without a word, and we carried the chest out of the mine as the sun set in ribbons. Back at the ranch, we spread the coins on the kitchen table, and Jake said the ranch could finally be saved. We found Eleanor's grave the next day beneath the old cottonwood, exactly where Jasper's letter said he would wait for her. We buried a gold coin and a copy of the photograph at the base of the tree to unite them forever. With the ranch debt paid, Jake repaired the barn and painted the house the same shade of blue Eleanor once loved. I stayed on to catalog Jasper's journals, and each day Jake and I grew closer, bound by more than shared bloodlines. He taught me to ride a spirited paintmar, and I taught him that forgiveness is the only treasure that truly multiplies. One moonlit night by the cottonwood tree, Jake took a silver ring from his pocket, an heirloom from Jasper's chest. He said his grandfather's final journal entry asked whoever found the chest to carry the love forward instead of the pain. I said yes, and we kissed with the scent of sage and old cedar swirling around us like a blessing. Our wedding was small, with just a traveling preacher and the ghostly presence of two reunited lovers smiling from the photograph. Now the Colt Ranch thrives with a new generation of horses and a story that brings visitors from all over the country. We turned Jasper's journal into a small museum inside the old bunkhouse, filled with maps, letters, and that weathered photograph. Every year on the anniversary of the mine discovery, we ride back to the chamber and leave a fresh wildflower bouquet. I often think about that dusty trunk and how a forgotten map can heal wounds even time thought were too deep. Jake says his grandfather's spirit finally rests, and I know my great-aunt's heart beats on through the love we now share. The silver ring on my finger glints with the same light that once touched those gold coins buried in the earth. We teach our children that the richest veins in life are not of metal, but of connection, redemption, and unwavering hope. Our story proves that some maps lead not to a place, but to a person, and that treasure is always love. Don't forget to subscribe to Stories Hub Official right now. Share your thoughts and comments, and kindly like this video.